Everyone, happy Empowered Wednesday. We're doing this again every week. We meet here on Instagram Live with some of our friends and some of our clients, and we talk all things entrepreneurship. And I'm just getting our guest week talk about sharing some strategies and practices that are working for our guests to really bring more ease and mindfulness and balance into our busy lives. And Angie's joining us. Hello, Angie. Yay.
Hello, how are
You
you?
made it.
I
I
did.
am, yeah, I'm fantastic actually. It's a good day, but you know what? It's always a good day.
There you go. Can you see me okay? Because I can't see you, but this has happened on occasion with IG Live. So if
Really?
you can see
Okay.
me, I think we're good.
I can see you, yes. And I
Okay,
see
perfect.
very nice photo behind you. Very calm with, yes. Talk
It
about
was a,
blue water. Ooh, ooh.
yeah, right? It was a trip to Norway for our 10th anniversary. And
No.
so we got it put on there because we wanted to remember that trip. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. So you took, this is your actual photo from a trip.
It is.
Wow.
It is. Yeah, we got it blown up and put onto a photo and we stuck it on the wall, and it reminds me all the time of kind of what we work for and why I use my money the way that
Yeah.
I do so that we can do these kinds of adventures.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. Oh my goodness. And see, and I noticed right away. So it was worth it.
It was
And now
worth it.
everybody knows.
I love it.
Beautiful. I love it. So thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule, being here with us today. So everyone, this is Angie Ross, and she is amazing money coach. And we've known each other for a couple of years, I think now. And really, it was the energy that brought us together. But, we lead busy lives. We work with amazing clients, and we just make stuff, right? I don't know if I can swear on Instagram, but we make stuff happens. And sometimes it's not easy, but it's about making those right choices, like Angie just shared, taking the trip and then blowing out, right, the amazing memory from her trip to remind why we do what we do, to maybe bring more inspiration and balance. So thank you so much for being here. And I would love for you, Angie, just to tell us a little bit, but because I introduced you as a money coach, but I would love for you to share with the audience what you do, what's your expertise, and we'll then talk around some ideas to bring more ease and flow and harmony to kind of crazy life of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, you got that right. I'm a money coach and a certified cash flow specialist. And so whenever people hear that, they think budget and they want to hide. And honestly, I don't believe in the regular typical budget because it fails for 79% of people. So I work with an anti-budget system where I reverse engineer how we look at our money so that we put our money towards the things we actually care about, like maybe heading to Norway on a trip or whatever it is that you decide for your family. And then whatever's left over after you've already put that money towards your values, you can spend guilt-free. So it's a lot less tedious than budgeting. And what I do for people is I actually build their anti-budgets for them. So I help them to create that so that they can actually follow the system. It's really simple. I think we overcomplicate money a lot. And the system has helped me to do quite a few things. So I was able to retire myself from teaching. I wanted out. Used my system to do that. And then we also have 2 investment properties. We have an Airbnb in Mont Tremblant, and we have a long-term rental in Port Hope, Ontario. And so the proof is in the pudding. And realistically, we never could have done that before. And we were making good money, but we just didn't have a system and we weren't maximizing it.
Yeah, and I totally feel you because as you know, I think this is how we connected around the discussion around investment properties, because this is something, I remember when we first met with my husband, Dave, like 20 years ago, and we both said, hey, you actually love real estate. So do you? And we're like, okay, let's just finally bite the bullet and buy something as an investment. And the rest is history. So we've been investing for, like 17 years. Best decision. Now we look back, holy smokes, right? Especially with the current pricing, it's like the best decision anyone can ever do is to have rental properties with great tenants or students, right? And this is really improving the cash flow. So, and I love your methodology behind that anti-budget, because you always hear budget, 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 right? And then people are not living fully, especially in this economy. So how you're able to really kind of do it backwards, right? And empower women and men with their financial well-being, right?
I think too, it's coming from a place of abundance instead of scarcity.
Yes.
So I think a lot of times we talk about manifesting, and I'm all about that, but we also need to look at the numbers. But I like to look at the numbers from a lens of abundance. So if we take your money and we put it towards the things that you want more of, you're going to create more of it, right? But we do need to look at the numbers. And then budgeting is more like restriction, time consuming, painful. We feel like I become defiant on a budget because you're telling me not to do something, so I'm going to do it. So that is very typical of humans in general. And they've looked at the behavioral psychology behind that. And that's a lot of the reasons why budgets fail, because they're a lot like diets in their restrictive nature. And so I decided, let's reverse engineer this and find a better system that has us feeling less restricted. And honestly, we make the same amount of money that we made before. And I feel like we're, I don't know, making double just because we have been able to create these things in our lives by having this simple anti-budget system.
Yeah. And you know what? It's so true. And if you think about your money as that infinite abundance, or like the system or a tool, well, it's really a tool. And those conversations do need to happen very early. So I'll share with you an example with our kids. So we have 3 kids, and we're like, yeah, you could be doing what other people are doing, going to Starbucks and spending money on all these treats, or you could make a better choices, right? And we literally sat down. They were like 8 years old. We sat them down and we said, okay, if you're spending this money on candy, treats, or whatever, or you invested in something. And I remember our son, middle son, Daniel, he actually invested in a cotton candy making machine, and he turned that into a business. So
wow.
Yeah, he was showing up at birthday parties and making cotton candy. It's like, hey, and it was an investment, but it's like, okay, you could be spending money on this cotton candy, or you could be making unlimited cotton candy and actually getting booked, right? But it was his idea. But those conversations are so important. And guys, like whoever is listening, it's never too late, right?
No.
You don't need to start when you're 8, but it's deciding and saying, hey, how can I empower me today by making those better choices? And sometimes, right, like, yeah, that's why we always say, hey, just watch who you surround yourself with, because sometimes people do feel that pressure that they need to, right, show up in certain way. So it's really about, we talk about, it's like when you really connect with your values and your vision and that purpose, and then making those decisions that can help you feel empowered toward taking the right steps without worrying what other people are thinking. Because that's when you can truly connect and not feel pressure, like, oh, I actually don't need to go there because I have bigger plans for myself or a family. But it really starts with making that decision and putting the big boy, big girl pants on, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard, of course. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
It's true. I think you made a couple of really great points. Keeping up with the Joneses is killing people. Like trying to keep up with everybody else. I don't really care what my neighbors are doing with their money because it has no relevance to my values. So what do I want to do, right? And so the second point is being intentional. So that's what you're talking about. We're being intentional with our money. And I love what you said about talking to kids, because I talk to my daughter about money. Sometimes she doesn't want me to, but I do. And yeah, it is, you know, she's 13. Her mom's not like her favorite person to have, you know, these long chats with, but here I am. And I also let her make money decisions. So people often will hide those decisions from their kids. And when it's back to school shopping, I give her the cash. She makes her own decisions, but that's it. That's the amount that you get. And when it's gone, it's gone. And it's reduced so many fights. And it's actually reduced my back to school shopping bill because I have a limit. Here's the amount. You go ahead and do your thing. And honestly, she learns a lot in making those intentional decisions herself, right? So it's really important to do that when they're kids.
Yeah, very important. And I find like even, yeah, empowering them with tools and explaining. And again, right, like, and whoever is listening today, it's like, don't think, oh my gosh, someone is 40, oh crap, I'm screwed. No, no, no. It's never too late, but it helps when we are very mindful of decisions. And this is where we're going to talk very shortly about mindfulness, because it's at any point, any day starts, we can start again, right? And make better choice. It's like, hey, I want X. Okay, what does that mean? What needs to come off your calendar? What maybe you need to say? And sometimes it is about saying no to things more and letting go of things to invite the space and room for making better decisions. But we always hold the power, and we forget because, right, the world kind of happens and we feel pressure, but really starts with us. So Angie, I would love to ask you about, because I know you're one busy lady, what do you do to bring more balance and harmony to your business and to your life overall? What are some of those things that you do?
Yeah, so this is a funny one from a money coach. I look at my money twice a month. What I find with a lot of business owners is they look at their money all the time because it's stressful and there's cash flow issues and they're constantly checking their bank account, and it creates that pattern of chaos. So I actually follow a system called Profit First. I did not make that system up. There's a book. It's amazing. Mike Michalowicz is the author. You should go read that. But I use that myself and with my business owner clients, because one of the things about it is there's a system and the thing that you follow, and you only look at your finances twice a month. And so that's like time blocking to some degree, right? Instead of going in and out of the banking and looking at it all the time, I'm setting aside time to evaluate that, and it takes the stress off in between. So I really suggest for any entrepreneurs out there to do that, because following that cash flow system, you will have money in your bank account to pay yourself, which a lot of small business owners don't do very well. And then you'll also have money saved for tax time, which we have just passed. Yesterday was tax filing deadline. For entrepreneurs, it's the end of June, but if you owe, you should file now. I don't get that. Anyways, CRA, all over the place. But realistically, it's been a stressful time for a lot of people. If you have a cash flow system, it makes it way less stressful. So check out that book. That system has really changed how I handle money and the amount of time I spend looking at it.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that recommendation. So everyone, whoever is listening, I definitely will be getting it. So it's Profit First by who?
Mike Michalowicz. So if you just type Profit First, Mike, it'll pop up. His last name's a little challenging to spell, but it's a very popular book. And quite honestly, I suggest it to everybody. You can go, it's $20. You can start setting up these systems yourself. And then if you need support of a money coach, you could look for that afterwards. But in general, if you're a sole proprietor, it's pretty easy to set up and get you kind of going with the system that will work for you and reduce that financial stress.
Yeah, no, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. And to the community who is watching, we normally run these CEO Power Hours, where it's not just you have to be a CEO, but it's CEO mindset that, we need to take responsibility behind the numbers in our business. And it's really important to look at what's working, what's not working, where are the numbers coming, what is lacking, where you need to double down. So I think this would be something. So if anyone is interested in joining CEO Power Hour, I'll be posting next one probably later on this week. We'll have one next week, but later on this week, I'll post when we're holding it. But I think to your point, this is where from that cash flow perspective, and you're recommending twice a month, but at least like if someone never has done it yet, that would be a good time to start that process, adding that into the CEO Power Hour, right?
I agree. And I think the thing is, it's just what we do is we stick our head in the sand. So one of two things happen. They never look at their finances, and then when we have to, it's really painful, or we look at them every day because we're super stressed about it. So we need to find some balance, and setting up that system allows you to find the balance. So you're not having to look at your numbers every day, and you can go do what you do as an expert, right? Not have your focus drawn to your finances all the time.
And I think also when people worry about that money, even though, right, they can easily sit down and really bring clarity to it and then understand what actions they need to take. If it's stuck in your head, that's where that overwhelm and chaos happens, right? And that bad energy, and then there is the dis-ease. So even writing it down and creating, like you're saying, the system. So please, everyone, whoever is watching today, listen to Angie, who is the expert money coach, and get that book, Profit First. And Angie, now from personal side, what do you do to bring more balance to your day or week or month?
Yeah, one thing I do consistently is I like to do breath work in the morning. So just a little 10-minute breath work piece to kind of bring myself in, bring myself listening to what's going on and just settle my nervous system. So I love that. I also really love yoga, but I have a bad back. So unfortunately, recently I haven't been able to get there as much. So I like to do a bit of breath work and meditation on my own, just to get that kind of mindfulness implemented. And I do it every morning.
Beautiful. You're very committed to it. That's awesome. For me, I always, I don't know. You watch the stories, I think. So,
Yes.
I'm always doing my morning routines, right? Whether it's, I feel very grounded by the water or in nature, in a forest, and I alternate because I also get bored. So for anyone who's listening, if you even do one thing and you really get bored of it, and maybe that's not motivating you, change it up. Do something different, something exciting. I remember I met this guy with Dave. We went for like a really morning walk, and this older gentleman, and he's always doing the same routine. And I asked him one day, I'm like, hey, you're always here at the same time. He's like, yeah, I'm just used to it. I'm like, maybe it's time to change it up, right? He's like, you know what? I've been doing this for like 10 years. I didn't even like, this is where it became a habit, but he says, oh my God, you're right. I am bored. I'm not enjoying, but I'm just doing it because I know it's healthy. I said, yeah, go the other way. And like literally the other day we see him on the other side and he's like, look at this. I took your advice. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just right. Changing it up a little bit can really bring more momentum and spark and new energy to things. So morning routine, and I love that you're doing it. I know there is I met this older lady who also had a bad back, and she started doing yoga, but it's like this renewal soft yoga. So for people who had back injuries, so maybe just look into it. Maybe there is something you can find, and if anyone from our community does yoga and it's for maybe people with bad back, reach out to Angie or myself. So yeah, we can have right, some recommendation and suggestions. So it's beautiful that you do it, Angie, because it's so important. And any one last thing before we finish today? Any
Sure.
insight, anything you would like to share?
Well, I'm actually holding a free anti-budget workshop on next Thursday, May 9th at 7. So I've had a lot of feedback on the fact that there's not a lot of systems out there that aren't based on budgeting. And so I like to run these free workshops every 2 or 3 months because last time I had 130 people register. People want help, but they don't want to do a budget, right? And so it's an alternative. So I like to give the whole process and the foundation so that people can see if that's something that they can create themselves, because oftentimes you can do it yourself. And then if not, you may need some support from me. But the purpose of the workshop is to give you the actual template for you to create your own anti-budget and the steps on how to do that. And so that's next Thursday at 7.
Okay.
And the link is in my bio to register for anyone who's interested. And it's just on Zoom.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So everyone go to Angie's profile and register for that workshop next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Correct.
Eastern time.
Eastern time. Yes, that's correct.
Much. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so very much. This day is a crazy one for me as I'm launching my first group coaching program, Amplify Your Authentic Brand. So I'm super excited. I'm nervous, but that means that I care. And I'm doing it at 12 o'clock. So super excited. Thank you so much for being here, Angie. Everyone who was listening, please try some of these tips and tricks that Angie shared. from personal, whether it's doing a little morning routine, or from the financial side to bring just more ease into some strategies to your business and your life. So thank you, Angie.
No
Wishing you
problem. Good luck with your group program, the initial meeting.
yes,
Enjoy that.
thank you. I will for sure. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you, everyone. Bye.